Real parasitic behaviors seem more brutal than anything imagined in horror films, not because they are exaggerated, but because they really exist. These strategies involve bodies that continue to function, but no longer according to the host. This idea inspired an entire TV show. And unlike most horror stories, this phenomenon really exists. In The Last of Us, a fungus infects humans. It takes control of their bodies, their movements, their behavior. The infected are still alive, but no longer in control. It looks like fiction, but the idea didn't come from nowhere. So where did it come from? It comes from a real parasitic organism. Deep in the rainforest, beneath layers of leaves, where sunlight barely reaches the ground, life moves slowly. Insects crawl across bark, ants follow invisible trails. Everything appears ordinary. Nothing is hunting, nothing is chasing, but something is already there. Spores drift through the air, tiny, barely visible. One lands on an ant, and the infection begins. It is the Cordyceps fungus, a parasitic organism, neither plant nor animal. It survives by growing inside living insects. The fungus enters the body through microscopic openings. Once inside, it spreads slowly, not as a single structure, but as a network of fungal cells. Its goal is not immediate destruction. It requires a living host. That's the general rule. But is it always the same fungus? No. There is not just one Cordyceps fungus. There are hundreds of different species. Each of them evolved for a very specific host. Some infect insects in tropical rainforests. Others grow inside beetle larvae in cold European soil. Some only survive in spiders. Others only in caterpillars high in the mountains of Asia. No species works on all insects. Most don't even work on two. Each fungus is tuned to one nervous system, one body temperature, one environment. Most of them only survive within a very narrow temperature range. Too cold, they stop growing. Too warm, they die. Not because they are weak, but because their entire metabolism is calibrated for a single condition. Not flexible, not adaptable, but precise. If a fungus can manipulate different nervous systems, the obvious question is whether this could happen to us. The idea is familiar. It's the right question, but we're asking it too early. First, we need to understand the whole mechanism. Back to the infected ant. The ant does not collapse. For days, nothing appears wrong. 3 days, sometimes 6. It keeps working, feeding, following trails. Inside its body, the fungus grows. It does not destroy the brain. It interferes with how signals are processed. Killing the ant too early would be useless. A dead body cannot move. Instead, the fungus takes control of the nervous system, bypassing the brain. Behavior continues without voluntary control. Motor functions remain active while behavioral autonomy is lost. The ant leaves the colony, walks alone. It reaches a perfect location, the underside of a leaf. High humidity, stable temperature, poor conditions for an ant, perfect for a fungus. Then the ant bites hard. Its jaws lock and never release. Only then does it die. The fungus feeds. It devours the ant from the inside. A dark stalk erupts from its head, silent. Still, spores fall to the forest floor, too heavy for the wind, waiting for the next victim to continue the cycle again and again and again. At this point, the question returns, not as fiction, but as biology. Could this system ever work on us? We already saw the first problem. Our bodies are too warm, but temperature alone isn't enough. Our immune system is too aggressive. Our nervous system too complex. Cordyceps doesn't fail in humans because it is too weak. Its entire biology is built for a completely different kind of body. There is simply no compatible interface. This is where fiction breaks. The organism you see in The Last of Us would require a completely different biology. In fiction, this looks like horror. In nature, it's just a system, following its own rules. No intention, no cruelty, no malice. It only feels unkind when we imagine ourselves inside it.